World Cup soccer. Did you know that even though I wouldn't say that they're in deep trouble, but the Mexican national team is in more trouble than they should ever be in? And there's one reason. It's because manager Tata Martino is disrespecting Los Angeles. And that's what you get when you disrespect the greatest sports city in the free world, Los Angeles. Good morning, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark. This is Faithful Angelenos. It is March 27th. I am having a glorious weekend out with the wife. I'll be back with her in a few minutes doing things I'm not going to mention on a YouTube video. But we've been doing YouTube videos for about a month, and if you like what we've been doing, feel free to clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. We drop a new video between 9 and 10 a.m. every single day, West Coast time. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist by putting this on your social media feeds. And by all means, comment. I am not God. I do not know everything. So before we get into the main topic, let's go through the notes and the scores from yesterday and today. The LA Kings defeated the Seattle Kraken 4-2, edging closer to an NHL playoff berth. Meanwhile, today, the Lakers will play New Orleans at 4 p.m. Let's start off by talking about Dodger pitcher Trevor Bauer. Now, he hasn't been suspended. He just hasn't pitched since July, and that's because of a really, let's be real, it was a creepy sexual assault case that was put against him. The case was eventually thrown out, but he still hasn't been pitching. So, he has to go back to court on April 4th because his accuser and her lawyers are saying he is being harassing and abusive. What does he want? He wants her cell phone records. Now, you might be saying to yourself, why would you want the cell phone records, dude? You're not going to jail. You may have beaten the rap. Well, it's because he's trying to argue that he was set up. Not just that he's, quote, not guilty, but he wants to, quote, prove his innocence. Now, we don't know what happened. We don't know everything, right? We just know that the case was basically thrown out. The district attorneys were like, nah, we can't prove this. But if he can prove he was set up, he can also go to Major League Baseball and say, look, you can't suspend me because this was a setup. Everything was wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. She said she wanted it rough. I proved it. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. What is the difference? Because if you get suspended, you don't get paid. So he wants to keep getting paid and be eligible to pitch again. And MLB has been kicking that can down the road for 9 going on 10 months to avoid getting sued. All I'm going to say are two things. It's creepy, and I don't know squat about what happened. And the other thing is this. Man, if you meet a girl and she says she likes it rough, run. That is not first date material. Okay, I don't know what makes wifey material. I'm on my 3rd marriage. I hope I'm making it work. But I'm here to tell you, first date material, I like it rough. Peace. I'm swiping right on Tinder. Also, the Chargers have today lost linebacker. He was a free agent, Kazir White. He went to Philly. I don't think the Chargers care. Just don't. Not with that offseason. UCLA basketball. Weep not for the Bruins for next year. Granted, there's always this idea of, oh my God, you only have a limited amount of eligibility in college before people move on. They're going to be loaded. They're going to be absolutely loaded. They've got another run in the Final Four in them, no doubt. First of all, they have a top 10 recruiting class coming in. 2 of their recruits played in the McDonald's All-American game. Some people have put the Bruins recruiting class as high as number 8. It includes a guard, Amari Bailey from Sierra Canyon High School, and a big 6'9" Adam Bona from Prolific Prep High School in Northern California. Both are 5-star prospects. Why does this matter? Because they are going to be so loaded that they might want to actually nudge some of their players out the door. Like, for example, Jules Bernard, he was a starter. He led the Bruins in scoring against North Carolina. He's got eligibility left, even though he's a senior. Same for starting center Miles Johnson. Both seniors with eligibility left for next year. What about Jaime Jaquez Jr.? What about Johnny Juzang? Well, you take Jaquez, he was their leading scorer and rebounder. You take Juzang, but they're probably only maybe second-round NBA draft prospects. Think you could break it up and move yourself into the first round with another year with the Bruins? Do you think you can make more money that way in the long term? You would consider that. So they are probably keeping Juzang, probably keeping Jaquez. And Bernard and Johnson, well, they're not listed in NBA mock drafts at all. Maybe they come back. This team is going to be deep as hell next year. So don't worry about the Bruins. By the way, another Bruins note, spring practice for football begins on Tuesday with a spring game on April 23rd. Spring game you can watch on the Pac-12 network. Now, the big topic, El Tri. And this is why you risk failure when you disrespect Los Angeles. What is the problem with the Mexican national team? Because let's be real, qualifying for the World Cup should have been a foregone conclusion. Qualifying has 2 more games. The Mexicans today play Honduras. That is a game they are expected to win, but they've been expected to do much better all along. Same for the Americans, but the Americans were supposed to struggle more than Mexico was, and right now the Americans are above them in terms of goal differential. Why is that? Well, it's because Tata Martino has basically shunned 2 of Mexico's all-time leading scorers who currently play in MLS in Los Angeles right now. Chicharito with the Galaxy, Carlos Vela, LAFC. So why is that? Well, both are 33. And Martino, in the case of Chicharito, has cited physical decline. Now, I don't necessarily know if that's true. Chicharito, by the way, is Mexico's all-time leading scorer with 52 goals in 109 games. Instead, he wanted to bring up Raul Jimenez. He being Martino, he brings up Raul Jimenez from Wolves of the Premier League, and that guy can't score. He may have been able to score in Premier League, but damn sure ain't putting it in for Mexico. As last week's 0-0 tie with the Americans in Azteca proved. Azteca is a fortress. They're never supposed to be in trouble over in Azteca. There's a legit argument that the Americans could have won 2-0. Martino cited the physical decline, and there were a number of writers who acted as if the decline was a fact, an irreversible foregone conclusion. But was it? Yeah, Chicharito had some injuries, but last year he was destroying the MLS with the Galaxy. And he's got multiple goals for the Galaxy so far this year in just 4 games. Just a horrible idea. There's actually a story where they believe it has nothing to do with the alleged physical decline. They believe there's a story that said in 2019 he broke team rules in San Antonio. He apparently brought a bunch of women to the hotel. And I realize he's married, but that's for him and his wife to argue over. Let me tell you something. Do you believe how important really are team rules? Because I'll tell you something, a lot of the most successful coaches and managers are just like, team rules are more like suggestions. Do you think Phil Jackson would have overloaded team rules on Kobe and Shaq? He didn't. When he was coaching the Chicago Bulls, they had Dennis Rodman. You damn straight Phil Jackson looked the other way when Dennis Rodman was running around in a wedding dress. He didn't care if Dennis Rodman would have showed up to practice buck naked on the back of a Shetland pony. Just give me my 20 rebounds a game so Michael Jordan has a chance to go nuts. Phil Jackson has the rings to back it up because he knew well enough to know that when you have talent, you have to look the other way. So in my opinion, Tata Martino got so addicted to team rules that he looked away from 52 goals. You don't think some of those he would have added to that? You don't think that there would have been a better offense for Mexico over the last few qualifying rounds? What about Carlos Vela? Well, in my opinion, I don't blame Chicharito. I blame Tata Martino for not bringing Chicharito, but I am not sure when it comes to Carlos Vela. This is where, if you are a big soccer fan, you tell me where I'm wrong, because I'm not necessarily certain, but I have a take. This is where Carlos Vela lines up for the Mexican national team back when Juan Carlos Osorio ran the team, and this is where he lines up with LAFC. Okay? Because both Juan Carlos Osorio and Tata Martino run at 4-3-3, 3 forwards in each case, okay? Now, with the Mexican national team, Vela lined up over on this side with Chicharito in the middle. When he played for LAFC, Bob Bradley would put Vela over here and Diego Rossi on the other side. Why does this matter? It's because Carlos Vela is left-footed. When that's your natural foot to shoot with, the ball curves. When you're on this side, kick that ball with your left foot, it goes in front of the net. It doesn't necessarily go in. That's a cross. That's not a shot. Meanwhile, you put Carlos Vela on this side with that same left foot, and the ball curves toward the net. And trust me, as a Galaxy supporter, I've seen that. Carlos Vela scored the first goal in El Tráfico history with a gorgeous shot off his left foot that angled into the far side of the net. So sure, Carlos Vela is saying all the right things. Oh, I'm 33 and it's time for the younger guys to take over, and I couldn't get Mexico past the round of 16. Yeah, he's saying all the right things. I'm not sure I believe him. Now, if you're an LAFC supporter, maybe you know the guy a little better than I do. But I'm sitting there, if I'm him, I'm sitting there thinking, Mexico didn't put me in a position to succeed. LAFC does. So why should I risk getting injured for Mexico when I can just put up goals in bunches in MLS and maybe get a boatload of money by going overseas when my contract is up? Let me ask you guys something. Does Carlos Vela get a pass? Is it club over country or country over club? See, I'm a Galaxy supporter, but trust me, as much as I like to crack on Galaxy rivals, you can rest assured I'm rooting for those guys when they don the red, white, and blue. And I bet you guys are the same when it comes to El Tri. El Tri, one of the things that they've been called during the scoring slump is mentally fragile. Do you think Chicharito and Vela would have been able to boost their mentality, to boost their self-confidence, the team-wide? Because this team can't score. And that's what makes Honduras trouble. It's not that Honduras is great. They're at the bottom of the table. But it's in Honduras. You tell me what happens in Central America when you're not sure if you know how to put the ball in the net anymore. Let me tell you something. This reminds me way too much of a problem that we had in the United States back when Jurgen Klinsmann disrespected Landon Donovan like that. And Jurgen Klinsmann was out of a job because of that decision. Because he tried to goof around too much. And I see the same thing with Mexico right now. If you like today's broadcast, by all means, clickety-clack the like and subscribe buttons. We want to spread the gospel of Los Angeles sports. My name is James. Thank you for watching. Faithful Angelenos is a Quian Corta El Queso production. Have a good day.